let's go. Welcome to the Cage Nation. Welcome to the Cage Nation. Welcome to the Cage Nation. No one can drop us, no one can stop us. We are the warriors, no one can top us, no one can rock us. We are the warriors, no one can drop us, no one can stop us. We are the warriors, no one can top us, no one can rock us. We are the warriors.
Thank you for joining us for this very special occasion, the first ever Cage Nation TV State of the Union Address. I'm your host, the Big Fellah, Mr. Albert Miller, Cameron, / whatever I feel like calling myself this particular week. I was going to do a Prize Fight podcast today, but when it comes down to it, what is there really to talk about outside of McGregor versus Mayweather? I've been very, very vocal with how I didn't agree with the fight, about how I didn't see any reason for the fight to go on, so it didn't seem fair to me, integrity-wise, or to you, to try to rehash everything that's already being covered for a fight that I didn't agree with to begin with. So as I'm going through and researching, I realized that this weekend is a very, very special weekend. This weekend is the 1-year anniversary of Cage Nation TV South launching. It was at Battle in the South, August of last year, at the Coastline Convention Center in Wilmington, North Carolina, and that was a very big deal for me. Last year has had its ups and downs. It's had its challenges because of moving from Pennsylvania, trying to establish something new here in North Carolina, and a lot really went into it. I want to take this moment right now and thank the promoters and the fighters of these southern events that have allowed me to exist inside their universe. Truth be told, without the fighters, without the promoters, there's no product to report on. There's no fights to go to. What I'm doing is complimentary, not as substantial as what the fighters are doing. Without the fighters lacing up their gloves, or strapping on their gloves, I guess, there's nothing for us to talk about, and there is really nothing that you're going to want to hear me talk about. So without those fighters, I've got nothing. So very, very much, thank you very, very much. Definitely want to thank the promoters, Battle in the South, Sensei Richard Dan Bakley, Next Level Fight Club, Lamont Chapel, Triangle Fight Promotions, Don Roger. Without you guys, Cage Nation TV South could not have happened. Of course, I want to thank my boys back home. Definitely Drew for teaching me everything he knows. Cass for helping us get off the ground. Thank you guys very much for still being a part of this thing that we built. And a very, very big thank you to Rob, who's carrying this thing on. It's just really unfortunate that MMA isn't happening in the Pittsburgh area as much as it used to. But I am confident that if you guys go out and say, hey, we want to see fights, that the fights will come to you. It's going to happen, friends. So definitely thank you guys for thank you very much for everyone who's helped us do that. This past year, we've launched the Pioneer Program. And pretty much what the Pioneer Program is, it is our way of expanding our realm of influence, but try to introduce some new blood into Cage Nation TV. We want new creators, people to tell us about their fight scene. I want a Cage Nation TV flag in every country, every state, every county. So the Cage Nation TV Pioneer Program was set up to get folks out there who say, hey, you know what? I got a fight scene. I think I can report on this. I want those people to come to me and say, hey, I think I can do this, and I want to help you guys along the way. I want to set up as many independent creators as possible so that we can all come together underneath this banner, underneath this thing. And I want, Cage Nation TV to be a nation. Whenever Cage Nation TV was built, whenever Drew and I were recording the first episodes, the name was decided upon to make it sound like it had a cast of thousands, like it was an actual nation. And actually, that's why I'm calling this particular video the State of the Union Address. If you go back and watch the very first videos, you can see it's always kind of had that presidential leadership feel. I've always called myself the elected official. Drew was the prime minister of Seoul or looking good or whatever the case may be. So it's always kind of had that play on nation. Well, it's time for us to build a nation. There are a lot of fighters that I just said I owe a lot to help us build this thing. And I want to bring those fighters as much attention as humanly possible. The way for us to do that is try to make the Cage Nation TV, try to expand our influence, try to expand our reach, to try to reach as many people as possible. From the bottom of my heart, I believe in MMA probably more than a lot of other sports. Football doesn't really make sense to me. Baseball is good, but it can only go so much. Tennis is cool for people who enjoy tennis, but I've never been a tennis watcher. My thing, my druthers, my preference is man-on-man combat sports. You know, when you think about it, outside of the International Fight League, when it comes down to a fight, if anyone is disappointed or if a fight is lost, it really comes down to one person. And I don't know, I've always just kind of gravitated towards that. I've never been the biggest fan of boxing, but through doing this and doing what I do, learning what I learn, I've come to really appreciate boxing and kickboxing and full contact karate. I want other people to benefit like I have benefited. I want people to go out there and learn something about these sports and try to appreciate it and love as much as what we all do. So the Pioneer program was set up for that. I want to reach people in Texas. I want to get to Hawaii, Germany, England, Ireland, Japan even. I think more than ever, the world could use a lot more unity. And I'm not saying that the Cage Nation TV Pioneer program is going to get us all holding hands and drinking Coke. I just want to meet new people, and I kind of want to bring the world together, make it a little bit smaller in my own little way. I want to know about these fighters out of Texas, out of California, Hawaii, Oregon, Washington, Alabama. I want to know about these guys, and I want to know about people who can create from those areas. So for the Pioneer program, you want to go to cagenationtv.com/opportunities/pioneer and tell us about your area. Tell us who you are, and tell us, let us welcome you to the Cage Nation group of creators. You know, we got Cage Nation TV, Cage Nation TV South. I want all these places. I want them all included there. So that was something exciting we launched, and hopefully we can get people excited about that as well and joining us. There's been a lot of changes in the world of mixed martial arts and combat sports as general. The UFC that we knew and loved 2 years ago is gone. It's changed. It's evolved. There's new owners in place. And when we think about it, there is no greater time to be a fan of combat sports than there is right now. We look back to movies like Cinderella Man or Rocky, even Hands of Stone, the Roberto Duran story. And all those folks were at the mercy of the Ring magazine or were at the mercy of what they heard. In this day and age, we have access to just about any fight we want to watch. I'm confident that I could sit down right here on YouTube and I could watch any Mike Tyson fight that I want to watch. And with that ability, I'm able to produce statistics. I can talk about his punch ratio, how many punches he's landed, how many he's slipped. That data, that information is available to me. And it wasn't to other people in the past. With the data age coming along, and with the UFC changing, we have access to a lot more about what's going on in the world, specifically with the UFC. I could get online right now and discover who the CEO of WMG IMG is, and essentially we can hold that one individual responsible for what's going on in the world of the UFC. That's just how it is. That's the beauty of it. It's changed. Zuffa's gone. To me, and I know a lot of people will disagree, but Zuffa is a special word, and that word, although it's Italian for fight, it's a word that really brought MMA out of the dark ages. It brought MMA back on the cable. It brought MMA into regulation. It's the reason why MMA is now regulated in North Carolina and Pennsylvania and Ohio. Thanks to Zuffa. Thanks to the work they did. Thanks for helping to build and establish the unified rules of MMA. And speaking of the unified rules of MMA, those rules are changing. That's just another change we need to deal with. I guess there's more weight classes now. There's more areas to compete under. With change begets more change. And change is good. Let's be honest. Without change, we'd still be talking about no holds barred. We'd still be talking about no gloves, no rules, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, and that's exactly what the problem was to begin with. No holds barred was always meant to be a spectacle. And without change, it was going to die out. So we thank Zuffa for that. We owe a lot to Zuffa for that. And we need to give the benefit to WMG IMG that they're going to be able to take it to new places. Have they proved it? Well, no, not yet. But it's only been less than a year. Only been less than a year. So let's give them the opportunity to try to do what they need to do and make things happen. One of the best changes I've seen out of WMG IMG is the Dana White Contender Series. The Pride of Bloomfield, Mark Cherico, just competed on the Dana White Contender Series. He didn't go his way, but I still got to watch Mark Cherico fight outside of Pittsburgh. He was in Vegas. I saw it on Fight Pass, and that was a huge opportunity. Next week, the pretty boy Alan Crowder, Next Level Fight Club heavyweight champion, Bellator veteran, is going to compete on UFC Contender, the Dana White Contender Series. Those are good changes. Our realm of influence is expanding thanks to WMG IMG hearing us out. They're getting to us on a local level, and that is absolutely huge. Change begets change, friend, and change is good. I want to close out the State of the Union address with one simple thought. If you're friends with me personally on Facebook, you know that I've been posting the picture of Genki Sudo holding up the flag saying, "We are all one." There is a lot going on in this world, in this country specifically. Whenever my grandchildren ask me, "Hey, what do you remember about the 2017 time frame?" I'm going to take a big sigh, and I'm going to say, well, it was a time of change. There was a lot going on then. There was a lot that was just different. It was unique. It's going to be hard to relate to ever again. With all the turmoil and hate going on in the world, with all the tensions that are happening globally, it behooves us to take a moment to appreciate those who are close to us, to appreciate the things that make us happy, to think of a very positive forward direction that we can all going. There's a lot of really awful, hateful things going on in the world. And it made my heart very happy to realize that the people who are speaking out in a positive way either follow mixed martial arts or are involved in mixed martial arts. They're speaking out in a very positive way. And those sort of things, the positive, embracing your brother, being true to yourself, and loving everybody is how we get through these things. That's how we make it to the next day. That's how we get through war to get to peace. By embracing your brother, telling people you love them, and thinking very positively in the right direction. I could sit here for hours and talk about how we just need to buck up and we need to stop all this stuff, but I think you know that. From me to you, I want to make the world a little bit smaller to be able to relate to everybody, and I want kind of everyone to come together in a happy medium. That is the State of the Union, my friends. Whether it be mixed martial arts or your home life, love is the answer. Embracing people you know and care about, people who make you happy, bringing them closer, surrounding yourself with more people who make you happy, begets more happiness. For me, I want to get out there and I want to be in the middle of a bunch of people who love boxing, who love MMA, who love kickboxing, because that's what makes me happy. Thank you guys for joining me. I felt it was very necessary to get this stuff off my chest. I'm sorry the video looks like found camera footage from the Blair Witch Project. I'm just trying to do this real quick. But next week, we're going to be returning to the Prize Fight podcast as normal. We're trying to introduce new things. We're trying to make bigger things. And hopefully, very, very soon, we have new territories to break into. Check out the Prize Fight, the Pioneer program. If you know someone who's saying, hey, you know what? I'd like to be a vlogger. I'd like to be a blogger. I want to cover fights. Send them my way. I'll take care of them. Until next time, folks. Fights, Cameron, action.
Let's go! Ah!